What's up, fam? George Price here, at gprice883 on Twitter, facebook.com/George Price883, www.georgeprice883.com, www.niche-funnel.com. How are you doing today, guys? I'm going to speak to you about a topic that I think that I know, okay, will help a lot of you, all right? And this topic is simply this, guys. How do you do this, all right? How do you make time for marketing online? How do you schedule this into your day, all right? And I'm going to tell you how I got started, all right? And hopefully this can help a good bit of you, because I know a lot of you, you probably started like me. You know, maybe you had something else, like another occupation or what have you, that basically took over, you know, time that you needed to market online. Well, let me tell you what I did. I started out basically writing down a schedule of what I would do every day. All right. And that schedule kept me on a time frame. You know, it kept me consistent as far as what I should be doing within a certain amount of time. Do this initially, okay? And after a while, this routine that you've developed, this schedule that you've developed, okay, from getting up to, I mean, every single thing, I'm going to tell you, I was writing it down. But develop your routine, okay? Become very consistent with it, all right? Very consistent. I mean, you have to be adamant about the time that you spend, you know, when you first start, because if you don't, you're going to break off into habits, or you're just going to break off into other things that are going to take you away from promoting or doing your job, you know, as far as working online. So, develop a routine, all right? Once you have your routine developed, okay, the next thing you want to do is start picking things out of your routine, okay, that you're doing that maybe they're not 100% correct, okay, and start working on those, all right? Fine-tuning them. Fine-tune your routine, because you'll find out there are things that you add to your routine that are not quite needed, you know? So, I'm going to tell you, and this is probably easiest to do this way. My routine, when I very first started, okay, I was doing a lot of Facebook messaging, all right? So I would get up every single day, and the first thing I would do is I check the messages that have been, you know, responded to, all right? After I checked the messages that have been responded to from me sending out messages to people on Facebook, okay? So I was doing Facebook messaging, all right? So I check out these responses and such like that, and I reply, all right? And after I reply, because I was trying to send around 120 messages a day, I forget exactly, but I was trying to send around 100. I know it was at least 100, all right? So I'm sending out 100 messages a day, and the way I was doing it was I basically would go on as soon as I got up in the morning, and I check my messages. After I went through all my messages, I go through and I'd send another batch of messages. So I'd send about like maybe 30 messages, all right? Facebook has limits as far as how many messages you can send, all right? So I found that I sent, I think it was like 91 messages in 1 hour, and I received a warning from Facebook. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to get banned, so I'm going to scale it back quite a bit. And I started sending, like I said, about 30 an hour. So when I wasn't sending messages, I was basically replying to messages, the responses that I received, all right? So I wake up in the morning, check my messages. I'm sorry. I wake up in the morning, I drink my 500 milliliter bottle of water. And then as I'm doing that, I would look over my messages and such like that. After looking at the messages, I would often need something to basically give me some inspiration, okay, motivation. So I go on YouTube and just search for something, a motivation, you know, like search for motivational quotes and such like that. So I make sure I did that. After I listened to this motivational, you know, speech or YouTube video, Then I would go and I would post my first post of the day. And that first post of the day would be something that would basically come from the heart. And it would be me. And I post it basically as my motivation, you know, my thing to get going. Okay, after that post, I look through my news feed, okay? And I would comment on people's posts on the news feed. All right, spend my time doing that. And, you know, to the T, I don't do this anymore because I don't do the messaging, but I almost do the same thing. I mean, I do it a little bit different now, but I almost do the same thing. All right, so I have all these things that I'm doing when I wake up in the morning, right? So this was maybe 6 months ago, I want to say 4, 5, 6 months ago that I was doing this. All right, so what I changed to do was I stopped doing the messaging. So what was it, you know, that I was going to replace it with? Well, I'm auto posting now, posting in groups, posting my advertisements in groups. All right, which has been a big help, but I wanted to learn how this all worked before I started doing that. So I'm posting in the groups now. And what do I do when I wake up in the morning? The first thing I do is I take screenshots of various parts of my profile. So the screenshots that I take, okay, there's a screenshot of the amount of the status bar. So like the friend requests, the messages, and status updates that you receive. You know that one? Yeah. I take a screenshot of that. I also take a screenshot of the amount of friends that I have, and I also take a screenshot of the amount of groups that I'm added to, because I'm adding groups basically every day. So I want to make sure that I total these things up. After I do that, I go to my group that I have for Mass Planner, all right? And I answer any support questions. I check any postings and such like that, because I use Mass Planner a lot because it's my auto poster and I'm promoting it, you know, so I want to find out as much as I can from others that are having difficulties, or anything that the support group has done, if they made any changes, you know, so forth and so on. After I've, you know, looked at those messages and such like that, I'll go back to my home page, the news feed, okay? And on the news feed, I look for basically, you know, anybody's birthdays and such like that, and I respond. I say happy birthday. I send them a message or what have you, and I do that. It's interaction, okay? And there'll be people, trust me, that I don't speak to on a daily basis, that I probably have never spoke to on my, you know, since I've added them as a friend, but I speak to them at this time, all right? So it's just something that they're like, wow, who's this guy George Price? He just sent me a happy birthday. I'll reply back to him. And you never know, it just may happen that you may be doing something, okay, that entices them and has them to say like, hey, George, wow, I haven't spoken to you before, but I see you're doing blah, 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 blah. All right. So that's that part, guys. Lately I've been running, all right? So this is a part of putting things into your schedule, all right, that, and still, you know, like basically do other things or do your job, all right, your main job. So as far as running goes, what I'll do is I get up in the morning, I do my routine, all right, check my, do my screenshots, check my messages, check my friends, all that stuff, and, you know, the birthdays and such like that, and make sure that Mass Planner, everything is running up right. I've already checked the group, okay, and then I have a little bit of downtime, before the market opens, okay? So the market usually opens, the stock market usually opens at 8 o'clock New York time, so 9 o'clock New Orleans time. So by that time, I want to have my posts, my everything I want to have sorted, because I take a screenshot of the stock market tickers that I'm in, that I am interested in. All right, I'm not trading or anything like that, but eventually I will. Okay, so I do that to, you know, to put that into my routine. All right, after I've done that, I have Mass Planner running, I have all this stuff going, then I go for a run. All right, I come back from my run, I come home, I shower, you know, because I'm pretty sweaty, and I go back to work, and I go back to doing research, I go back to posting, I go back to, you know, messaging and such like that. If you're working full-time, it's asked that you commit basically 2 hours a day to this. Guys, I'm going to tell you, my routine in the morning, it takes probably 30 minutes, okay? You can do that in the morning, 30 minutes, okay? And the posts that I usually post on my wall, it's usually good morning right now, all right? So post good morning, All right. In the afternoon, if you could post something in the afternoon. At night, if you could post something at night. I'm changing things up a bit because I'm actually adding videos as opposed to adding them to the Facebook wall. I'm adding them to the YouTube wall right now. All right. Or YouTube, and then posting them on my wall. So that way I can get engagement onto YouTube. So you see, I'm taking my audience from Facebook, not necessarily from Facebook, but I'm directing them to another source. And eventually, all of that is going to tie into my blog. All right. So as you can see, as I'm telling you, I've developed a routine. And because I have my routine pretty much in place, I can add other things to it or tweak things. I was going to say tweak things here and there. And everything just continues to build and everything continues to flow. All right. And sometimes it flows a bit better because I'm placing things or enhancing things that's going to help me and help my business. All right. So that's how you do it, guys. I mean, I can go more in depth, into what I do, like more detail, should I say, but it's not really needed. Like today, I wouldn't call it free time, but during research time, what I did was I'm working on my blog. I started working on my my About Me page. And in my About Me page, you'll see it'll be a bit different, but wow, I can't believe sometimes the writing ability that I have, that I possess. And I'm going to say, you guys as well, you possess a skill, you possess a mindset, you possess thoughts, okay, that no one else can explain, no one else can describe. And that's what I'm finding with my writing is that, I'm listening to what I'm saying and I'm like, wow, I really don't remember. I really didn't think I had as much knowledge about, certain topics as I do. All right. And you're probably thinking, well, it's an About Me page. It's about you, right? Well, it's a bit different. You'll see. All right. So, guys, that's all I have for today. As far as, tips. Start a routine, okay? Start a routine and then, progressively add different things to it. As you add different things to it, you're going to grow, okay? And as you grow, that's when you're going to be able to add things to it that are different, that are, that are better and that are helping you.